Hi guys, it's Sandra here from Create in Spain. What do you do with a broken wine glass? So what I've got is a wooden disc with a hole in it. Now yes, I made this from plywood and I sized it 8.5 centimeters so that my glass actually fits in a little rim that I've put in there. It doesn't actually go in it, it just kind of locates it. It just makes it easier for me to centre up, and there is a very slight lip on it. And I've also put a hole in the middle of it. Now if you don't have any discs and don't have any means of getting hold of any, you can use cork, which you can cut manually if you have to. Now I drilled the hole in the centre of it, more or less. Did I have to put it in the centre? Not really, no, I could have put it somewhere else. And what I want to do is to make a Christmas scene in here. So the best way of doing this is to take your pattern piece, to cut out small pieces and just stick it on the inside. And first of all, I wanted to mention something. I've got my glue gun heating up, it's still cold. I don't know if you can actually see the glue drops on here, but they're actually quite nice, clear, colourless glue drops. Now this is quite unusual with some glue sticks. Quite often they have a yellowy tinge or they're cloudy. These are ones that I got in either Aldi or Lidl, I forget which. It's definitely one or the other, Living Art ones. And it's a multi-pack of gold, silver and clear ones. I don't think I've even tried the metallic ones yet, but the clear ones are really good. I'm very pleased with those. So if you're looking in Aldi or Lidl and you happen to see those, they are very good and they work with the mini glue guns. They are 7mm diameter ones. The other thing that I need for this project is some fake snow. Now this stuff I picked up in the Chinese shop. It feels like a very fine paper dust, and that could well be what it is. Obviously pure white, but it feels very much like a paper dust. Now, in this container here, and forget that it says pen holders, it doesn't have pen holders in it any longer, I have mixed with a tiny amount of white sparkle glitter. This is what I'm planning to use as the loose element in my glass, and you'll see what I mean a bit later on. So for the trees, it is relatively simple. I think my glue gun should be warm enough now, so I'm going to just put a line of glue down the spine of this tree. Oops, always does that. And just put another one next to it, and because I'm using hot glue, it's going to stay quite quickly. And then I will put another line of glue there, and there we have a tree. So you want to make sure that you don't skew these when you put the roof on. Make sure I've got a roof of the right size cut. Yep, that's fine. And dab of glue there and there. There we go. And then you just do the same on the other side. If you can make a box, you can make that. And when they're flat, you've got your pieces behind the windows. You fold over the bit which has got the flap, add the glue, and just fold over it like so, press shut, and then you've got your main piece. So very, very easy to do, very simple. That's too small a roof. Now if you want to, you can alter the design of these, you can change the shape, size, position of the windows, make them your own. For my base, I've decided to use one of these because I can change the batteries easily and I can put it somewhere where I don't have an electrical supply. So This normally comes with something like 50 lights on it or something. A lot, put it that way. So I have cut this down just so there are 3 lights, and this is a multicolour string. So on the back of here I have put a piece of masking tape, and I've got a circle of foam which is going to go on there like so, and that gap in there means that it lies flat, that it's not raised. If I hadn't put that little gap in there, if I put this over the top, it just creates a bump. So I had a hole cut out in the circle in the centre where my original hole is on my wood, and I just used a pair of scissors to take out a little gap. And what I will do is I will coil this up, and I will put it so that the lights are spread around in here on the base, and I can secure that with some hot glue. Put a glob of glue down here and then just press it flat like that, and it will hold down this coil very nicely. I've finished doing my little village here, and you'll notice I got some smaller trees, and all I did was I cut down one of the larger ones that I had. I just cut the tops off, and in this case I put some extra cuts in the branches. So that is what I've ended up with. I did move a couple of the lights, but it's easy enough to do. Even though they're glued down, you can just pull them up and reposition them. But it's easier to judge the effect when you've got them glued in place. The next bit is a fun bit, and I'm just going to go in with a cheap and cheerful glue and start putting some dabs in various places. I want some going over the treetops. Now, the more liquid the glue that you use for this, the less fake snow will kind of adhere. So I'm using one which is quite thick, and it kind of, it almost adds a bit of extra sort of dimension to it. Now this is where having it in a tub helps. I'm just going to take this and literally insert it into my tub. Oops. Notice I did put some protective paper down onto my worktop to catch any extra bits, but that's looking pretty good. I'm quite happy that it's got a pretty good snow covering there. I'm going to leave this to dry. This is where things get a little interesting. Because of what we're doing, we're putting snow in a glass and we are putting a base on it. You can't just tip it upside down over the base. It's going to have to go in like that. So we need to put the free falling snow into the glass first. I reckon that is 3 tablespoons. That's what I reckon. If you are using 15ml tablespoons, that's what I think it is. So that's going in there, and the fun bit is going to be putting the glue on this base and then trying to stick it on before it cools down too much. There we go. And there is a leap of faith here to actually get it roughly in the right place, because there is no way you can move it afterwards, not easily. So I've actually cut out a couple of bow shapes. Now what I'm going to do is cut off these little round pieces because I don't need them. I'm not using those. And I'm going to put them on the inside here. Now these I do need to have the circle bits because that's part of the look. Those get to join there. I need to decide where the front of my little scene is, and I think that would be the front. So that needs to go on there, and that goes like so. I'm going to put glue on the back of there and glue it to my glass, like so. And then nice big blob of glue there and on the front. Now I may at some stage decide to change this for something else when I have something else to use. I don't like the position of these things, unfortunately. And alright, so that is the basic idea. I said maybe I'll change this for something else later on. I haven't got any wired ribbon at the moment or anything that I think would look really good as a wired ribbon. But I think that is really quite nice. Now if I shake it all up, all that snow moves, and you can have a snowdrift in there behind the church. Or just even it out a bit. And then you can put the lights on. I think that is really quite sweet, and you know, it's making use of a broken wine glass. Why not? So that's it for today. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.